Welcome to my channel, and thanks for joining me in this full-length class. Find a place to sit comfortably. Take a deep breath in, open the chest, and we're going to ripple forwards, and then exhale, round back. Inhale, opening the shoulders, really filling the lungs. Exhale, drawing the navel back, rounding the spine. Just getting some gentle movement through the spine. Then I'm going to take that into circles, forwards and to the side, all the way back and to the side. As you circle, notice how the breath naturally flows in and out of the body. And let's circle in the other direction. Breathing in and out. You can take this as big or as small as feels good right now. And coming to center, place the hands on the floor and just walk forwards, relax the head over. So we're going to spend a few seconds really to lengthen the spine and release the body. If you want even more of a stretch, you can flip your palms up. And just surrender your weight. See what you can release in the facial muscles, especially around the jaw and around the eyes. Another deep breath. And then slowly coming up one vertebra after another to a long spine. Let's change, if possible, the cross of the legs, if you've been sitting crossed-legged. And take a few more circles. Coming back to the breath, noticing the sound of the breath, the quality of the breath, enjoying that circular movement. Let's take it in the other direction. Breathing in and out. This time we're going to place both hands on the floor on a diagonal. Walk the hands forwards and relax the head over. Again, you might want to flip your palms up so you can really release. Think of the opposite hip. Think of grounding it down as you release the head, and the stomach lifts up each exhalation. Let's take one more deep breath here. And to the other side. So walk your hands over, drop the head, maybe turn the palms up. Really think of dropping the opposite hip down as you lift the stomach up. And just release, relax, enjoy the breath. One more deep breath here. Coming up to center. And then coming to the front of your mat, placing your hands on your knees, using the hands to help the spine lengthen, opening the chest, gaze up, and then rounding the back, pulling the stomach in, and keep going until your arms are straight and you can hang on to your knees, draw the stomach in. Let's do it again just like that one more time. Inhale, lengthening the spine, opening the chest, and exhale, really round through, pull the stomach in. This time we're going to reach the fingertips forwards. Inhale, as you exhale, bring the lower back closer to the floor, pull the stomach in, reach the fingertips even more, and come up to a long spine. Again, really rounding through the spine, beginning to fire up the stomach muscles, lengthening the arms, and coming up. And we'll do that a little bit faster. Exhaling and inhaling. Again, creating movement through the spine. Let's just do that twice more. And keep going all the way down to the floor. So come to a lying position. Relax the hips so that they're really neutral and place the hands on the stomach. Going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, really feel the contraction of the pelvic floor muscles and the sense of the stomach drawing in and also up towards the top of the head. Again, just like that, really relaxing the whole body. Inhale, and as you exhale, focusing on the work of the deep stomach muscles and the pelvic floor muscles. So now you're going to place the hands against the thighs, and as we pull the stomach in, you're going to press the hands into the thighs. So we're creating length in the front of the thigh. Exhale all the air out, draw the stomach in as much as possible, and relax. Again, push the hands into the thighs, and as the thighs reach in one direction, the stomach lifts in the other direction. Let's just do that one more time. Pressing with the hands, lifting the pelvic floor, feeling the deep stomach muscles working. This time the hands are going to press down into the floor. And we're going to take our focus to the lower back. So as you exhale, same deep work of the stomach. Feel the lower back lengthening, coming closer to the floor, and then lift the hips just a little bit off the floor. And relax them down, so we're back into a neutral position. Again, contracting the pelvic floor, using the deep stomach muscles to lift the hips just a bit, really lengthening the tailbone away from the top of the head and release it down. This time I'm going to keep going all the way. So I'm going to bring my legs a little bit closer towards me, peel the hips off, and then vertebra by vertebra, bone by bone, all the way. So there's a nice straight line in the front of the body. Inhale, press the hands and the feet into the floor. And exhale, slowly massaging each vertebra into the mat, back to the neutral position. And we'll do that again. Exhale, rolling up. Stop for a moment and think of pressing the whole back of the arms and the hands into the floor. And exhale slowly, really working through each vertebra one at a time, all the way down. Let's do it one more time. Peeling the tailbone up, rolling up. This time we're going to stay there. Keep pressing the feet into the floor and reach the fingertips up and over. So finding that long line in the front of the body. Staying there for just a breath. And then again, massaging one vertebra after another, back to a neutral position. And from here we're going to clasp the hands behind the head, use that to lengthen the neck. Inhale, and as we exhale we're going to come up to a chest lift. Gaze forwards, going to stay there. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften the chest, pull the stomach in even more. So the head's going to stay exactly in place. And as we exhale again, we're going to find that little pelvic curl, drawing the pelvic floor and stomach muscles up, and then releasing down to a neutral position. Again, lengthening the tailbone away from the top of the head, so really creating length through the spine as we work the stomach muscles. And release down. One more time, curling it up. You feel the stomach scooping in as much as possible. Lengthen the neck, and then relax the hips. For a moment, just relax the head down. Breathe as you create even more length through the neck, and exhale, coming up. This time, as the hips roll up, we're going to keep them rolling up and let the head and shoulders drop down in a seesaw movement. Lifting the head and shoulders up, massaging through each vertebra. Hips drop all the way down, the head floats up a little bit more. And again, rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Head drops down, hips float up. One more time. Really trying to find as much movement through each segment of the spine. One last time. Float the hips up. Head drops down. Stay there for a moment. And this time, roll down. Hug the knees towards your chest. And let's take some circles, massaging the lower back into the floor. And circle in the opposite direction. And bring your knees to your chest, clasp the hands behind the head. Again, lift the head and shoulders up. This time try and bring the knees close to the forehead so your hips come off the floor. Draw the stomach in and release down. Again, curling up into a tiny little ball by using the deep work of the stomach, lengthening the spine. And down. This time we're going to stay with the hips curling up and just bring the toes of one foot to the floor and then change. So toe touch, where the challenge is to keep the hips rolled off a little bit off the floor. If you want to make it more challenging, you can take the toes even further away from the body. We'll take it a little bit faster. And change, and change. Keep drawing the stomach in and up. A little bit more, so really waking up those stomach muscles. And relax the head down. Place the feet on the floor a little bit wider than the hips. Just allow the knees to fall from side to side. So releasing to one side and then using the oblique stomach muscles to bring them back. The upper body stays very still and open as the hips and knees sway from side to side. Then come back to center, straighten the legs out. Again, lengthening the spine, inhale. Exhale, coming up. So softening the chest down, lengthening the spine. Let's lengthen one leg, and with that sense of length, just float the foot up off the floor a little bit and back down. Doesn't have to be very high, but very long. Lengthen the toes, tips of the toes away from the top of the head. Draw the stomach in and down. And again, first leg, reach it long. Reach it back down. One more time, just like that. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And lengthen down. Let's relax the head for just a moment and then come up again. So at first don't actually do it, but just imagine both legs lengthening and lifting up. Really do it in your imagination. And in your imagination, lengthen and bring them down. Let's do it again in our imagination and just see how using the thoughts of the leg going up, how that affects the work in the stomach. And then you can either continue in your imagination, or if you actually want to do it, float both legs off and float them down. And we'll do that twice more. You can either do it for real or keep doing it in your imagination. Just make sure there's no tension in your back when you do that. So last time, and relax the head down. Let's hug the knees, lift the head up, and just very easily and gently rocking up and down, massaging through the spine to come up to a sitting position. Opening the knees, you can use your elbows to open them a little bit more, and we're going to drop the head down and just relax over. So a few deep breaths here, seeing what you can soften in the muscles of the neck, the muscles of the face, surrendering to gravity. So rolling up one vertebra after another. This time we're going to come forward with a straight back. Again, you can use your elbows to open your knees a little bit, and the movement will be smaller now. Just think of lengthening up, top of the head up, and each exhalation, notice what happens to the pelvic floor muscles and the stomach muscles. Keep lengthening up, and then drop the head over, and coming up one vertebra after another, as if there's a wall behind us and we're stacking up the vertebra on the wall. And again, we're going to go for a rippling motion, a wave motion through the spine, rounding and rolling up one vertebra after another. One more time in that direction, lengthen and then drop the head over, and rolling up one vertebra at a time. And we're going to reverse it, so dive down, head come towards the feet, and then lengthen from the lower back, middle back, upper back, head, and come up. Let's do that twice more, diving in, lengthening out. One more time, rounding, and then lengthening the spine to come up. Place the feet on the floor and the hands behind you. Press the hands into the floor. Start curling your hips up and keep bringing the knees forwards, opening the shoulders, and if it feels all right for your neck, you can even take the head back to create even more sense of length through the spine. And setting the hips down. Let's do that twice more. Press down with the hands, reach the knees forwards, open the shoulders, perhaps taking the head back if it feels good for your neck. And down. Let's take it just one more time like that. Pressing down, opening. Take a deep breath here. Setting the hips down. Let's stretch the legs out, reach the arms up, and come forwards. Give yourself a good stretch. And then reach the fingertips forwards. Arms are parallel to the legs. We'll take 3 little pulses forwards. Pulse, and pulse, and pulse. And from here we're going to roll down vertebra after vertebra, reaching the fingertips forward, up, and all the way up. Roll up, vertebra by vertebra, and 3 gentle pulses forwards. 1 and 2 and 3, and rolling down, shoulders down away from the ears, reach the arms up and reach them back. Roll up again. Inhale and then exhale, draw the stomach in. 3 pulses, 1 and 2 and 3. This time we're going to roll down, keep the arms reaching forwards. When you feel your shoulders, the scapula into the mat, float your legs off and then drop your legs down and up. Rolling up one vertebra after another. Stretch and stretch and stretch, rolling down. So sort of when you get about to a chest lift position, allow the legs just to float up, reach the arms forwards, and then release, legs down, arms back. Let's do that again, one more time. Rolling up, reaching forwards and forwards. One last time, forwards. Last time, rolling, really pulling the stomach in, floating the legs up, reaching the arms forwards. Hover for a moment and relax. Let's hug the right knee in towards the chest and then lengthen it up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, breathe out, lift the head and shoulders up, and think of stretching both legs, the right leg to the back wall and the left leg to the front wall. Stay here for another moment, draw the stomach in, and then set the head and shoulders back down. Let's open the arms to the side and take the right foot in the direction of the left hand. So we're really allowing the hip to come up as much as it wants. And then start by bringing the hip back, which brings the leg back to the center, and then opening the leg towards the right hand. And again, so we're describing a big arc with the toes of the right foot over towards the left hand. So really enjoying allowing the hip to come off and then guiding it back down, bringing the leg back to the ceiling, and then opening the leg as much as possible while still trying to keep the hip bones pointing to the ceiling. So let's do that just one more time. Reach, really lengthen the leg out. Keep the shoulders open. And then taking the hip back and opening the leg to the right. Let's take the leg back to the ceiling. Bring the hands, press them down to the sides of the mat, and we'll take leg circles. So this time we're going to take the leg across, but try and keep the hip where it is, down into the floor. And from here we're going to take a circle. 1 and 2. We're going to do 4 more. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Going in the other direction. So first opening the leg, keeping the hip where it is, and from here going to circle. And 2 and 3, 4, twice more, 5 and 6. Good. Bring the leg in towards you, and just again gently rocking up and down a few times, coming up to sitting. We're going to stretch the right leg, hold on in a comfortable position in a place where we can lengthen the spine, and then taking the left hand and guiding the leg across. You can either have the right fingertips on the floor, or if it feels good, stretch them out and open the chest. Going to bend the left knee, place the foot on the floor and place the right ankle over the knee. Press the hands down into the floor, reach the knees forwards, open the shoulders, and again, if it feels right for your neck, you can look up to the ceiling. And set the hips down and round the spine. Let's do that twice more. Pressing down, reaching the legs forwards as you open the shoulders and reach the head back as far as feels comfortable for your neck. And as you set the hips down, round through the spine. Take it one last time. Stay there for a moment. Press down, really connect down into the ground to open and strengthen your arms. And rounding. I'm going to roll down, keeping the legs in this position. So try and do it with control. Place your hands by the sides of the mat. Press down with the arms and press with the left foot into the floor. And we're going to lift the hips up and try and keep them still pointing up towards the ceiling and rolling one vertebra after another back down. So it's a little bit tricky to stabilize the hips in this position. That's the challenge here. Let's do it one last time. Lifting up, we're going to stay there, trying to stabilize the hips. Reach the fingers up to the ceiling and then back to the floor. Stay here for just a moment longer and slowly rolling down. Relax the hips, and we're going to clasp the hands behind the head. Lengthening the neck, bring the head and shoulders up, and we're going to float the left foot off the floor, bring the legs towards us, float the foot back down, and head goes back down. One more just like that. Head, bring the legs towards you, so again you're really deepening the work of the stomach here. Foot, head down, and this time we're going to stay there and take little pulses in and in and in and in. 4 more, 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Squeeze it in, pull the stomach in, and then release back down. Take a deep breath in. This time we're going to bring the left shoulder towards the right knee and back to center. And the other side, the less obvious side, right shoulder towards the left knee and down. Again to the first side and again This time, I'm going to stay there, lift the foot off the floor, and I'm going to take little pulses here. In 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stay there, bring it in just a little bit more. Just one last time to the other side. So leading with the right shoulder towards the left knee, float the left foot in, left knee in, and little pulses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Gonna cross the right leg over the left, open the arms, and let both knees fall over to the left, so that really nice stretch on the whole right side of the body. Take a few deep breaths here. And then take the legs and let the knees drop over to the right side, opening the shoulders, enjoying the stretch to the left side of the body. And before we do all that to the other side, just relax your legs for a moment and notice if there's any different sensation between the right and the left sides of your body. We're bringing the left knee in, hugging it in, and then reaching the foot up. Inhale, exhale, lifting your head and shoulders and really lengthening both legs in opposite directions. Really drawing the stomach in. Head drops down, arms reach to the side, and this time the left foot wants to reach towards the right hand until the left side of the hip comes up. Bring the hip back, leg back, and open the leg towards the other hand. So twice more, that arc in the sky. Really allowing the hips to come up and then bringing them back down and opening. Last one. Keep lengthening the arms away from each other. Lengthen the leg as much as possible and then bringing it back. Opening it, trying to keep the hip bones pointing straight up to the sky. Let's take leg circles, so arms pressed down. Reach the leg across this time, keeping the left side of the hip anchored down. And from here, circling. And 2, 3, 4, 2 more, and 5, 6, and then opening it as far as possible, keeping the hips pointing up, and circle. And 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Good. Bring the leg towards you, lift the head up, and just rock up until we come to a sitting. Stretch the leg, open the chest, breathe, and then taking the right hand to the outside of the left leg, taking the leg across, and either having the fingertips on the floor or reaching the arm away. Keep lengthening and opening. And then bend the right knee, place the foot on the floor, place the ankle over the knee, and then press down. Bring the knees forwards as you open the chest, gazing up if you can, and down, rounding the back. Twice more. Press down. Open. Really lengthen the spine. And drop the hips down as you round through the spine. Let's take it one more time. Stay there, pressing down into the floor. Open the shoulders, creating even more length through the spine. And this time we're going to roll down with control. Hands down by our sides. So pressing into the floor, lifting up and down. Push down, the hips float up, trying to keep them as square as possible. And down. One more time. up. This time we're going to stay, keeping that stability through the hips as we reach the arms up and back. And then placing the hips down, hands behind the head. Lengthen and exhale, coming up. Float the right foot off the floor, bringing the knees in. And float the foot back down. Relax the head. Again, head and foot floats off. Foot floats down. Back, last one, up. And we're going to stay and take little pulses in and in and in. 4 more. 6, 7, 8. Stay there, squeeze it in. Drop it down. Keep the legs where they are for now and reach the right shoulder towards the left knee. And down. And then left shoulder towards the right knee. And twist. And twist. This time we're going to stay, float the leg off, and little pulses here. Keep drawing the stomach in, opening in between the shoulders. And last one to the other side. Float up, and little pulses. Nearly there. And then we can relax and take that stretch. So cross the left leg over the right, open the arms. Let both knees drop over to the right. Breathing into the stretch. You're relaxing the body after all that intense work in the center. And when you're ready, taking the legs over to the left. Seeing how much you can relax the shoulders and allow the breath to be full and deep. So let's bring both knees back to the chest, and again just rolling up, rocking and rolling a few times to come to a sitting position. This time we're going to have the legs more or less the width of the mat, and just walk the hands forwards. Again, you might flip the palms up and really relax the head over. Relax the shoulders. Keep both sits bones grounded down and lift the stomach up. Another deep breath here before we roll up one vertebra after another. And again with a straight back, the movement might be smaller this time because we're thinking of reaching the top of the head up. You can have the arms wherever's comfortable. Just think of reaching the sits bones down as we reach the head away. Come up to sitting, reach the arms up. We're going to take a saw variation. So we're going to round the back, stay there for a moment. Press the left side of the hips down into the floor, and then lengthen and reach up, stretching the arms away from each other. Let's do it one more time, just like that, rounding over, stomach in, lengthening, and this time keep lengthening the left arm up, and then we'll take it to the other side. So twist, relax the head over, think of the opposite hip, the right hip dropping down, and then reaching forwards on a long diagonal. One more time, rounding, lengthening, reaching the arm up, and we'll take it slightly faster. We're going to round and lengthen, reach the left arm, circle around, round, long, up, and over. One more time either side. Round and long. Reaching up and over. Last one. Round and lengthen. Up and over. Bend the knees. Hold on behind the ankles. You can keep the knees bent, or if you want, straighten into an open leg rocker. And then just rocking back and trying to find some balance. So feel free to soften behind the knees if that feels better for you. Just finding the balance for a moment, one last time. So you can either stay there, or if it's okay for you to take your legs overhead, you're going to take a stretch and just stay there for a moment. Place your hands in a comfortable place. And then press the hands down to the mat, slowly with control, rolling down. So we're going to start off with quite small circles. Open the legs to the side, circle them down, and then up. Allow the hips to come up just a little bit. Let's do it one more time that side. And then reach down and up. Down and up, down and up. Your knees to your chest. We're going to do either exactly the same thing, or if it feels good for your back, feel free to make the circles much bigger this time. You can go up as much as you want. Open and up. Open and up. Open. Up and reverse. Down, opening, up. So I'm using my hands to help me, but it's a lot of work in the center. And one last time. Hips go down. Reach the arms again to the side. I'm going to open the right leg all the way to the floor and bring the left leg to join it. Opening the arms to the side. Reach the top leg forwards, up towards the ceiling. At some point the right leg will want to join, so we'll allow it, and taking it over to the other side. Stay there for a moment and then reach the top leg away from the body towards the ceiling, opening. We're just going to play with that. You can bend your knees softly or keep them straight, just like a fan movement from side to side. Let's just do it one more time, either side. And from here, let's come to lying on our sides. Start off with both knees bent. Have your elbow on the floor and reach it away so you get that sense of lengthening through the side body. You can either have the hand in front of you for support or place it behind you. From here, we're going to open the knee up to the ceiling and down, up and down. So if you have your hands here, you can really use them to lengthen through the neck, lengthening through the spine. Keep the knee where it is, and we're going to turn in, knee to knee, turn out, toes to toes, just finding the internal and external rotation. Keep going a little bit more here. Really squeeze the rotation in and out as much as possible. Good. Relax the head. Down. We're going to pick the leg up so it's parallel to the floor and then take it back as if we're pulling a spring. Keep lifting and lengthening the stomach. And then swing the leg forwards and back. So we're creating as much motion with the leg but keeping the upper body stable. I'm going to take that into circles, forwards, up, back. Again, as much movement as possible of the leg in the hip socket. And circle in the other direction, taking it back and opening. Back and opening. Twice more. And then we're going to take a stretch. So hold on to the ankle, take the leg back. Deep breath in. Feel the shoulders open as well. Let's come up for a mermaid. Stretch the arm up and reach it over. Coming back to the same side. So again, on the elbow, either having the hand in front of you or behind the head. I'm going to stretch the front leg for a little bit more challenge. And we're going to take a side kick. Kick, kick, and lengthen it back. Kick, kick, lengthen back. Kick, kick, really stretch the leg away from you. Kick, kick. Let's do just one more like that. Kick, kick, take the leg back, stay there. Drop the head back down. I'm going to bend the underneath leg for extra support, and we're going to lengthen the leg up and front, so creating a big arc up and down. To think of reaching the leg away from the body as much as possible and taking it into circles, forwards, up and back. If you need to, you can bend your knee a little bit. Really good work for strengthening all the muscles around the hip. And in the other direction, take it back and then round. We're nearly there. Round. 3 more. 2. Last one. And come back to that mermaid. So I'm going to grab on to the opposite arm with the wrist. And take a good stretch to the side. Bring the back leg over. Rooting the hip bones down as the spine lifts up to take a twist. And then if possible, stack the knees one on top of the other, feet apart. Bring your hands forwards to the floor, open the chest. Walk forwards and then just relax over. Maybe turning your palms up and really relax the weight of the head down. And take a few deep breaths here. Let's take all that on the other side. So come to lying on the other side with knees bent. Reach the elbow away so you get the stretch on the side of the body. You can place the other hand behind the head if you like. And lift the knee up and down. Up and down. Maintaining that sense of length through the spine. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed. And keep the knee up and rotate internal and external rotation, creating as much movement as possible to the leg and the hip socket. Let's do 4 more, and 3, and 2, and 1. Relaxing the head down, reaching the leg back, back, back as far as possible. Keep lifting in the stomach and then swinging it forwards and back. And from here we're going to take it into circles. Big, generous circles. And in the opposite direction, back as far as possible, and then all the way around. Really great for strengthening the muscles around the hip. And then hold onto the ankles, stretch it back, open the chest, lift in the stomach. And let's take a mermaid stretch, reach the arm up and over. Back onto the elbow. If you can, stretch the front leg for extra challenge. You might choose to put both hands behind your head or have one on the floor and double kick forwards, lengthen back. Kick, kick, reach the leg back as much as possible. Kick, kick, lengthening back. Kick, kick. Let's do 2 more. Kick, kick. Lengthen, opening the elbows, kick, kick, and just stay there for a moment. See how far you can take the leg back and drop the head down. The leg reaches up and taps down. So making a huge arc in space. Up and tap, up and tap. Good. And now we're going to take it into the big circles. Feel free to bend your knee softly if you need to. Twice more. And last side, back and around. Back. Keep the breath flowing in and out even when it's getting hard. That's when we need the breath the most. And come up. Hold on to the wrist, reach up and over. Swing the leg around. Reach up and take a twist. And then stack the knees over each other if it's possible. Open the feet a little bit more, lengthening up. You come forwards with a straight back and then really just allowing everything to relax and breathing here. And from here we're going to make our way into all fours, onto our hands and knees, spreading the fingertips. Spreading the fingers, rounding through the spine, exhaling all the air out, drawing the stomach in, and inhale, opening the chest. So going back to that gentle rippling movement through the spine. Just take that one more time. Stay there and really draw the navel in, exhale all the air out. And last one, opening the chest, filling the lungs with air. Let's drop onto the forearms, reach the legs back, and just rock gently forwards and backwards a few times. Again, feeling the connection to the center, to the deep core muscles. And then dropping the hips. Keep pressing the forearms into the mat, opening the chest, really creating lots of length through the spine as well as through the front of the body. Into lying, look towards me. Have your hands by your sides, your arms by your sides. Take a breath in and out. And let's come to center and lift up the head, lift up the arms, lift up the legs. Stay there, hover for a moment. Take the head to the other side and just relax. Take a deep breath here. Again, bringing the head to center, reaching up. This time we're going to clasp the hands behind the back, as if someone's pulling us and opening the chest. This time the head comes towards me. Bend your elbows towards the floor. Take your hands in the direction of your shoulders. Stay there for a moment. And then coming back to center, reaching, opening, lengthening everything, and taking it to the other side. Let's just take it one more time like that. Open the arms to the side, really reach away, and bring the head down towards me. So I'm looking towards my left hand. I'm lengthening the left leg up and taking it across to the right. So getting a really long diagonal from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. And then coming back to center, lifting up the top of the head, lengthening the spine, looking in the other direction. I'm looking towards my right hand, so the right leg is going to lift up and go towards the left on a long diagonal. Should feel really nice. And then bring the hips back, lifting up. Let's just take it one more time, either side, reaching the leg away, stretching that long diagonal as if someone's pulling the leg back. Coming back, lifting up. One more time to the other side, reach the leg out. tips of the toes reach away from the fingertips. Come back to center. Just going to stay there for a moment and lift everything up. The arms, the legs, the head. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press into the floor. Open the chest. Lift up. And bend the elbows. Come down. Lengthen and lift both legs up just a little bit. It's like a slow motion swan dive. Opening, lengthening your legs to lift them up. Let's just take that one more time. Stay there, press the hands into the floor, open the chest. We're going to come back to a rest position for a moment, just to relax the head, breathing into the back. Let's tuck the toes under, reach the hips up, so we're in a pyramid shape. Really stretching the arms, lengthening through the spine, and then bringing the weight forwards to a plank and gently rocking forwards and backwards, keeping length through the legs and through the spine. Reaching up one more time, and then placing the right foot forwards for a lunge, left foot on the left hand on the floor, right hand behind your head, and let's open, lift that elbow up towards the sky, and then bring it down towards the floor, really twisting. Let's take it twice more, opening it up, inhaling, and exhaling, pulling the stomach in as the elbow drops down. Just do it one more time. Open, stay there. Open the chest even more. And then bring the back leg in just a little bit, trying to straighten both legs as we drop the head down and sending the right hip back. So taking the right leg back, let's come back to that plank. This time we're going to lift the right foot off and rock forwards and backwards a few times. And then place it back down, take the left one off, rocking forwards and backwards a few times. Placing the knees onto the floor. And let's take the left foot forward, right hand on the floor, left hand behind the head to open. Inhale and exhale. Drop the elbow down towards the floor. Inhale, open the chest, open the collarbones. Exhale. One more time, stay there to open. And twist down. Tuck the back toes, bring the back leg in a little bit so you can lengthen and stretch behind both legs, sending the left hip back. Release the head down. Take the leg back. Stay there just for another few moments. And then walk the hands back towards your feet. Press the feet into the floor. Soften the knees. And as the tailbone drops down, we're going to start curling up vertebra by vertebra. Coming up, reaching the arms up to the sky, lifting the heels up, trying to find the balance. And then heels down. We're going to roll down and take a push-up. So drop the chin towards the chest and start walking forwards. You can either keep your legs straight or feel free to bend the knees. We're going to bend the elbows back and we're going to take 5 push-ups. 1 and push. Keep pulling the stomach in. 2 and push. Widen the collarbones. 3. Just 2 more. 4. Last one. 5. Tuck the toes. Reach the hips up. And we're going to take a push up here. This time the elbows are going to open to the sides. Open. 1. And 2. Shall we keep lengthening the spine? 2 more, 4, and 5. Just stay there, lengthen the arms, reach the hips up, and walking the hands back. Really relax over, soften the knees, and then press the feet into the floor, lift the stomach, slowly rolling up. Take a breath in, reach the arms up, and then circling them around, open the chest, and softly bend the knees as you bring the arms forwards. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Just one more time that way. Inhale and exhale, and then reverse. Again, going for that rippling wave movement through the spine. Inhale and exhale one last time. Inhale. This time bring the hands together to touch, and we're going to bring the hands towards the center of the chest. Notice the rhythm of the heartbeat. Noticing the rhythm of the breath. Thank you so much for doing this class with me, this long class. I hope you enjoyed it, and please subscribe if you'd like to do some more free classes with me.